Alrighty, we are going to go ahead and do the as good as new protocol. I have this little makeshift base built already. We're just going to modify it and add on to it in order to get this protocol completed. I will actually go ahead and also build one of the larger storage containers that I can put all of the intelligence that we are gathering into it. So here we are with a large storage container. You can see I have all of the resources required to build it up. I'm just going to place it right here. We then have to build structures and a blast furnace. So I'm going to go ahead and get an area ready for the blast furnace. Just 4 squares is enough, should be enough. And once you've started actually building it up, it becomes a solid object you can stand on. Building all of that up did complete these structures, did way more than I needed for that portion of it, but we are going to go ahead and place down the, what is this called, industrial furnace. So we'll put that down right here, and this will allow us to farm things like titanium or smelt things like titanium. And you can also combine several ores to make different things, like you can make electron and carbon fiber steel. This one takes quite a few minutes to actually build up. It's got 7,500 hit points. And oh, you know what? This was the wrong kind of furnace. We had to build up a blast furnace, not an industrial furnace. This is the one after the blast furnace. We'll go ahead and build up a blast furnace as well. That's these. We do have enough materials for that. I like to have several of them so you can smelt lots of stacks of ore at the same time. It reduces the time it takes in order to refine all of that ore. This furnace is the only, the first one that you get that will actually show you, or not show you, but allow you to smelt magnesium. So you'll see this magnesium ore doesn't smelt. You can't craft it in that 3D printer, and you also take less ore to create a bar from the furnace than you do in the actual printer. Like you'll see that it only takes 2 iron ore to make an iron bar. But if you use the 3D printer, it actually takes 3 iron ore. So you vastly reduce the amount of ore required. So the final thing it's asking us to build is a 3D printer, which is this one. We're going to go ahead and put that one down right here. Just build it up, and this has more things in it that you can make that the mobile 3D printer does not have. Now it's asking us to craft a cutting torch, Mark 1, which is one of the things that you can only craft in here and not the mobile printer. We do have enough materials for it. It was only iron, aluminum, copper, and magnesium. And that does conclude that particular protocol. Alrighty, we have reached one of the first areas where we're gonna farm for the acid from the AI remains and pick up some magnesium ore from nodes. Probably shouldn't have to farm more than just a few nodes in order to get all 50 ore. Got these large rigs here for mining ore. I mean, they're not actually functional, it's just a visual thing, but it's still pretty cool. There is one of the acid spitters, and we are going to have to kill them to farm acid. Scorpio. Just one of those gave us a total of 20 acid, so we're only gonna need one more. Now, one of the cool things is up on that platform right there, there is a lot of nitrate. And so what you would do if you really needed just a ton of nitrate to make like biomass or whatever it was you were trying to do, is you would actually get up on that hill, unless you had a jetpack. If you had the jetpack, you'd just boost up there, but you'd get on that hill. If you didn't, drop down and run along that conveyor belt and just pick up all of the nitrate that you could. And then you would come back to the beginning and log off for an hour for it to respawn, and then come back on and do it again until you were full, and then you would go back to base and use your nitrate. Now it looks like another person has built a building inside of the cave to block it off, which is absolutely against the rules. But this is the kind of thing that happened where what I would do typically, I'm not going to do it now because the game's shutting down, but typically what I would do is I would get as close as I can and just wall this guy in and starve him out. I would keep him as a pet. He's got 12 days left. You know, just kind of a piece of garbage blocking it off for everybody else. That's what he is. I would definitely block that guy in and starve him to death. And then once his building decayed, I would tear it down and allow access for everybody. You kind of had to police this stuff yourself, because if you didn't, there were no mods. They really didn't care what happened on this game. It was the Wild West. And there you have it. We've finished the gathering ore section of that particular protocol. We just have to find another acid producing enemy and scavenge some debris. Okay, we have a worm and one of the acid producing enemies here. We're going to go ahead and finish both of them off and collect the rest of what we need from the AI remains here. And that does it for that portion of the protocol. We are now going to go ahead and head on over here to scavenge the debris. I know that there is a small building just right over here, that right there. And then on down there, that's actually, here's one of the acid worms. Oh, yep, see, they will spit at you and turn your screen green. Now, even though we don't need acid for the protocol any longer, we are going to need it for our rocket that we're going to launch into space. So we're going to keep collecting that. I'll end up having to collect a lot more of that before we can finish the final event. Directly up there is Capital Station, the large town in the middle of the map, the center of the map. Down here was just another little area to farm magnesium, and this is the area that has the reference to the Starship Troopers movie. So it's just that's a dead end down there with some magnesium, and then here is the cave. Seeing some intelligence. I mean, we're not on that quest yet, so it's right here. I'm not going to pick it up just yet because we have not gotten to that step yet for the protocols. I'm just going to go ahead and loot the debris, and we will come back for that once we get to that part of the protocols. This right here is where you would get carbon fiber. You would see this pattern on pipes. If it was golden, that meant it could actually spawn the carbon fiber, and you would just salvage it. And this is the scene that I believe was the Starship Troopers reference, because it's a robotic bug, but it's still a bug. Killed a guy at the food table. And that actually completes the channels protocol. Next one is called Green Zone. We're going to have to go to the biosphere Genzon? Not sure how to say that. For an intact specimen of agricultural experiments. We'll have to gather intelligence there, pick up plant parts, and scavenge leftover supplies. So that will not be too difficult. We will cover that. Alrighty, we have made our way to Biosphere Genzon. We have an elevator here that is going to actually take us up. You can hear the enemies crawling around up there already. We do a little exploring and do the protocol. On the map, it's right here in the middle of Furka Chasma. Here are some of the plant parts that we need to gather for the protocol. I picked those up. More carbon fiber here. We did finish the step for plant parts, but we are still going to explore around. As you got further, you started to encounter more and more dangerous enemies. That particular enemy will, as you can see, cast a smoke bomb. We've got the acid spitters that'll put acid on the ground. These guys were purple. They had like a purple light glow to them. They were the panther. And as you can see, when you scrap them down, they give you carbon fiber. There is one of the fragments that we need. This is another one of the terminals that you would use. This whole area was a PvP flops event as well. We're going to explore to the right first. Take a look at this other hab. More plant parts. And a way outside. I guess it helps whenever you have ammunition. Lag there. Now these biospheres, you could actually access laboratories, which gave you like the option to make special bullets and explosives and the high-end Mark III med packs. You know, explosive charge, first aid spray Mark III. You could do all that. Explorer's ration, the level 3. Looks like I don't actually have this particular pattern unlocked in the tree. That's one you had to find a schematic for, and I hadn't found the schematic on this character, and now I probably never will. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and explore the adjoining building to the left over here now. Intelligence fragment. Now that's what we like to see. Look at all that loot for credit for scavenging supplies. There was even stuff on the shelves sometimes. Another one of the screens you could scavenge for copper. Looks like this may have been a massage parlor. I'm going to assume that's what that sign means and nothing else. Another one of the terminals for the PvP flop event. We did finish the step for scavenging leftover supplies, so we're not going to pick up any more items that'll weigh us down, unless it's something that we just can't live without. There is the third floor here we're going to take a look at. Oh, it's not an entire floor. Little section, but it's still cool. I just loved everything about this game. So you got a little fork and knife. This was obviously meant to be a kitchen area, although I don't see any tables or vending machines or food of any kind. That's just the old, I think that's the bulldog, the one that throws the mines. Another one of the intelligence fragments. Those guys open the doors. I think there's one under this platform. That's another one of the terminals for the flop event. We'll end up in the same place, but instead of going outside to do it, I'm just going to go back through the main building. I just think these digital fountains are the coolest thing. I don't know if that's what they're called, that's what I call them. All of them. You can see the letters and numbers flying by. Here's another intelligence fragment. We'll go ahead and take a look at the second floor. I'm not sure if there's a third floor, there may be. So you got acid just laying on the table here. Little servers. Yeah, it's too bad we won't have any of these left for the regular Memories of Mars. Another terminal for the flop of that. There were 4 of them every time. So it looks like there was a third floor here. We've only got one more intelligence to gather, and I believe that is actually the last building that we need to look at as well. Look at the tricky guy there. Sound and light did aggro these things. I'm not sure if they could see you through walls though. hear you through walls. Now, you didn't have to loot them first. If you just broke them down, it would give you all of the things they had on their corpse as well. I'm just in the habit of hitting F to loot everything in this game. Here's the last intelligence fragment. We're going to go ahead and clear out these other enemies before we take a look at them. We're gonna hide back here behind the shelves in the storage compartment. Okay, so this one is actually called Biodome Backups. We've got all 5 fragments. Looks like it is in another language that I do not speak. So we're going to go ahead and just compile it and see if there's a voice component to this one. Alright, there is no voice component, and whenever we actually go to view it, it's still in this other language. I'm not even sure what language this is. I think it's probably Japanese, I'm not sure though. But that completed the Green Zone protocol, and so we will see you guys in the next video. We're going to be doing applied science.